Hi, welcome to our presentation for Honors 102 in spring of 2021. We are Audrey Burley, Faith Hannah Lee, Jacob Robinson, and Sadie Jensen, and our project is titled Plants with a Purpose. According to Hometown News Volusia, the rates of food insecurity in Volusia County exceed the national average. And according to Consumer Energy Alliance, people who suffer from food insecurity can be helped to be brought out of that insecurity by learning more about the agricultural processes that help to feed them. However, many people suffer from agricultural illiteracy. For example, according to Farm Bill Fairness, 40% of middle schoolers in a California school didn't know that hamburgers come from cows. They thought that orange juice was the most popular fruit and that French fries were the most popular vegetable. As well, 16 million Americans believe that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. And even more concerning, 72% of American consumers say that they know nothing or little about farming. And 69% of them think about food production at least somewhat often. And this is interesting because it shows that while many people want to know more about where their food comes from, many just don't have access to that knowledge.
So to help combat food illiteracy, we decided to create a plan. And this was to build an educational program that would teach students about the food system. And because hands-on learning is so fundamental and really helping students develop a passion for something, we decided that our goal was to connect students with their food by providing them plants to grow themselves. And so we had three integral partners in this project. First was Citrus Grove Elementary School, which was the place where we went to teach the students about the project that we created and the plants that we'd grown. And then the other two were Stetson University Sustainable Food Systems and Education Department. And they really helped us develop this plan and gave us many ideas because we are not experts in this field and we are new to this community. And so they really helped us really develop a plan and method that would make a positive impact in the DeLand community.
So in order to ensure that our project stayed on task and remained efficient, we created a timeline to, like I said, keep us on track. So because we were growing plants that we wanted to give to the students, we had to make sure that we began our project relatively early because we wanted these students to have plants that were not just purchased at the store, but that we grew ourselves so that they could see that it could be done and anybody has the capability of growing their own food. So we made a team trip to Walmart on the morning of March 6th and purchased all of the materials. And then that evening, we planted all of the plants. So we planted 4 varieties of plants: lettuce, green onion, basil, and cilantro. We chose these plants because they're relatively well known to students. They're in a lot of dishes that we already eat today. And they're relatively easy to maintain. So we planted those in peat pods and kept them in dorm rooms until they received enough nutrients and grew to the point that they needed to be transported outside, and we put them in these plastic cups that you can see for easier delivery to the students. We then secured permission from Citrus Grove Elementary School to do our presentation there on March 29th, 2021, and we got permission from a teacher named Miss Williams to participate with second graders in their science block. We also provided the students with a pamphlet that they could use to learn recipes, fun facts, and history of the plant. So it wasn't just a plant, but there was reasoning behind it and deeper learning experiences. And so we had those pamphlets prepared and ready for distribution on April 1st because we presented on the morning of April 5th at the school. In the creation of this project, each group member played a crucial role. Audrey Burley was in charge of growing plants and coordinating the events. So she worked very much with our partners to make sure that everything ran smoothly and that we could get the project presented to the community that we were targeting. Faith Hannah worked on the graphics and aesthetic value of the pamphlets that were distributed and helped create a survey that was used to evaluate the students. Jacob Robinson also worked on this survey, and he also worked on event coordination with Audrey. And Sadie Jensen helped Audrey grow the plants and did the research for the pamphlet.
To measure the success of our project, we surveyed the students before and after each of our presentations to assess agricultural literacy, and we also made general observations as to the engagement of the students throughout the presentations. In general, most students were very excited to engage with us in our presentations and learn about plants and get to take home a food plant to care for themselves. And they were very interested in the pamphlets and to learn about the fun facts in them. We also noticed that in the before survey to measure agricultural literacy, that there were some students that did know answers to general questions about food systems, such as where plants come from, the importance of food systems, and also some general misconceptions. But there were also many students that did not know the correct answers to these questions. And there were some non-participants, which may have been because they did not want to be wrong. However, in the after section where we asked them these same questions again after presenting to them, we found that there was a much larger number of people that, first of all, participated, and also a much larger number of people who got several of these questions correct. We also found that there were some students whose families are food insecure, and that some of these families did have to grow food gardens themselves to have enough food to survive. So one of these students in particular had a little bit more agricultural literacy because they were food insecure, so they had to learn more about how to maintain food gardens. In general, what we learned was how to grow food plants to give them to the children. We also learned how to communicate simply with the second graders in order to present some more complex terms and information to younger people for them to understand and be able to take care of their own plants and understand food systems. We also learned how to partner with community members, such as the Citrus Grove Elementary School, and also some Stetson organizations, such as the Sustainability Systems and the Education Center. Speaking of sustainability, in the future, we are working with Stetson University Sustainable Food Systems and the Education Department to have this be an annual event for the second graders. Thank you for listening to our presentation.